I think we're starting now. All right, guys. My name's Angel. I'm here with my dad and my brother Abraham. This is fresh off the fresh off of Terrance Crawford giving an ass whooping to Errol Spence. What do you guys think about the fight?
It's pretty close. I gave to Spence, but then second round was essentially Bud Crawford dominating. He's dominating. He's dominating. He's dominating. He won that one. Dominating. 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 They stopped the fight. All right.
That's your analysis.
That's all I need.
That's exactly the way the fight went. That's exactly the way the
I
fight
actually did it. I actually gave Bud Crawford all the rounds. Like I didn't even think he lost one round at all.
Yeah, I gave Bud Crawford all the rounds. I think
The closest one was the first round.
yeah,
It was close, but it looked like Bud was just straight up.
people on social media and on Showtime gave Spence the first round, and I think that's about the only round he won.
Well, because in the second round he got knocked down.
Yeah,
With like a flash like jab, right?
yeah, yeah. It was a counter left, and then the jab followed by the counter straight left, and then he just never recovered.
Yeah, it's like the shock kicked in and he was just like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
he was embarrassed right off the bat, you could tell.
yeah. He's never been down in a fight, and he couldn't deal with the southpaw jab. He was not accustomed to fighting another southpaw.
And it's like what? He got knocked down what, 3 times, right?
Yeah,
Knocked down 3 times and then the TKO was the fourth?
I think it might have been the stoppage was yeah,
Fourth,
yeah,
yeah.
because he didn't go down on the fourth one. The referee just stepped in.
Yeah. I mean it was bad. You think they held him on too long? Like did they even
I thought
His
about
coach
the
didn't
yeah, I
use-
thought about the sixth round. They should have stopped it. He looked too he looked like he just didn't have it. He didn't have the stamina, and he couldn't get to Crawford, and Crawford was just landing at too high of a clip.
do you think the weight did a lot for him? Like or was it just I think his nerves? Because I was telling you before the fight, he looked calm, but maybe he looked calm, but he was like so nervous inside, and he was just like. And then but the walk in man, that's what killed him. That was weak.
Nah,
When you go against Eminem's walk in versus what that shit just happened, I was telling you, I was like, yo, it's over. Put all your bets on
as soon as
Crawford.
you saw
Right now.
Eminem.
Hey, you lose yourself? Like, dude, nah, it was over. It was a wrap. That was just crazy. Did you guys expect it? What did you honestly expect? Because you've been watching boxing since you were a little kid. So what did you expect it to be? Like 7-5, 8-4? Did you expect it to be that far apart or closer?
I expected probably I thought it would be an 8-4 win for Crawford. Just a not a complete domination, but a clear win for him. I thought he was going to be able to-
Decision.
yeah, but the one question everybody probably had in boxing was whether that Spence could take his punch, one, and whether Spence was going to be able to pressure Crawford the way he's pressured everybody else at welterweight. Could he bully Crawford around the ring? And he couldn't. Crawford was matching his strength. He was just as strong as him, and that was one of the most surprising things, that he was as strong as him. And then everything else was Crawford's way, as far as boxing ability, the jab, the quickness, the speed, the counter punching. It was all Crawford. It was an advantage for Crawford, and he never even came close to really even stunning Crawford at all in the fight at all.
Yeah, because when we looked at the end of the fight, you looked at Bud and you're like, did he even get into a fight? He looked not even touched. He didn't even look like he was just sweating like if it was a regular sparring session. And I was just surprised by the fact that he just obliterated this guy. Because one, Crawford looked great against other fighters, but he didn't look dominant like this. And then for his biggest fight, he looks that like, dude, he's pound for pound. Like it's not even close. And like you said, when Inoue fought on what Tuesday, you thought, oh, it's Inoue. But then you look at Bud and you're just like wishing. Obviously, it will never happen. But like, what if these fools ever fought? You know, like it will never happen. But like, damn, how good of a fight that would be. Or Canelo fighting, Bud. Like
Yeah.
that's how good this fool is. Like he just looks like he would mollywop that division. So do you think anybody can stop him at 147, or Or does he just go straight up one more division up and just take the belts from? I mean, he's gonna have to wait, right? For
Yeah, the other two fighters that are young don't have any real belts at welterweight because Crawford has all of them. Is Boots and Ortiz, and now right now it looks like he's just a class of his own. He would beat those guys, and the I don't know if it's a sad thing, but it's more of a just a truth. He would beat everybody at 154. He'd beat Charlo, and he's gonna beat Zoo, and it just he's that good right now. You're just looking at a guy in his prime, and it's gonna be fun to watch him do it.
so if you were Bud, you would probably wait for the Canelo fight and Charlo, see what that happens. Hopefully, he doesn't get too fucked up. That he's able to come down and say, okay, I'll fight you for all the belts, try to get his boys lick back.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't, then just might as well stay at the division that he is because he has all the belts rather than going up at 154 and trying to get the belts one at a time. It'd be better just to stay, get those two undefeated fighters in his resume and just keep cementing his legacy.
Yeah, because if as of right now, if Charlo moves up to fight Canelo at 168, and he were to lose or win, he would then not want to may not want to come back to 154 because of losing that weight.
It'd be like that Antonio. Maybe be a mistake for Charlo like that Antonio Tarver did, right?
Yeah, Roy Jones. Yeah, also
Both of those.
Roy Jones. Yeah,
you go up too high and then you try to come back down,
and then you're just weak, and
you weight drain the shit.
Your body, your body's not strong anymore, and so it would probably be an advantage for him if he won, obviously, to either stay at
he would probably stay.
Or
he would probably stay.
Yeah,
he would probably
why come back down?
You have all the belts.
You just beat the best 168 pounder.
Yeah.
But if you were to come back down, it would be a good thing for Crawford because then he could just fight Charlo for one fight for all four belts. But if Charlo doesn't come back, then he vacates all the belts at 154, which means that now Crawford would have to fight probably four different fighters for those belts. And that makes it a lot more difficult because now you're moving him to 154, a new division, a bigger division. Even though I believe he would unify anyways. There's nobody there that I think that can beat him. I think he's just once in a lifetime generational fighter. He's just too skilled. He's just better than anybody at 147 or 150.
So in what order would you say for if let's say for example A, Crawford stays at 147. In what order would you fight Boots or Virgil Ortiz? Who would you fight first, and who would you fight second?
Right now, if he's thinking of staying at 147, and he just wants the biggest challenges, I think the easiest fight to make would be against Boots, because Boots is going to be available, and I believe Boots is also signed with PBC. And Crawford's already signed with.
He's like 31
PBC.
wins, 0 losses, 20
yeah,
KOs, so
he's
somebody getting knocked out.
He's knocking everybody out. So, but I think that would be the easier fight.
The worst fight would be Ugas.
Ortiz has some health issues, so I don't know what's going to happen with that, or if he's going to come back, or you would have to wait and see, if he comes back from those issues. But it would have to be Boots first if he's going to stay at 147. If not, like you said, the best thing for him to do is wait, see what happens with the Canelo and Charlo fight, and then make a decision from there.
Yeah, because he could also do. Because do you think there's ever a chance that he goes and fights the Australian guy, Tim
Tszyu?
Yeah. Just as a prep up for Charlo, if he waits.
No,
he just wants to go straight for Charlo, right?
If he was going to fight Tszyu, it would be because Tszyu has a belt. I don't think you go up to a new weight class and just to go, oh, well, let me challenge what could end up being the best guy at 154.
Yeah,
it's between Tszyu and Charlo. Obviously, Tszyu's a mandatory for Charlo. So if I was him, no, I'd wait to see what happens with Charlo, and then if I need to fight Tszyu for one of the belts, then I'll go up there and handle that business. Because after Tszyu, if Charlo were to leave 154, there's nobody else is going to be able to challenge.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. There's
unless Spence were to move up to 154, but we already seen that at 147, and it doesn't. It just looks like it's a mismatch.
It just looks like Crawford weights carries a bunch.
Yeah.
He just has
Yeah.
that natural gift and talent.
And then again, we're assuming that he will move to that he would want to move to 154. He might not. I mean, because he's already fought at 135, 140, 147 now. And
From the way Spence looked, if I was in his team or in his corner, regardless of what Crawford does or whatever, I just move up. And if Crawford happens to move up, then you go and rematch clause.
yeah, I don't think Spence can stay at he
147.
can't fight at 147.
He doesn't.
because
Yeah,
he didn't look good.
he looked like
kinda weak.
Teofimo before
He
he
looked like- yeah.
like when he stayed too long.
Yeah, he stayed a little. I think he did, and it's difficult because I don't know how much it's going to help him going to 154. The guys at 154 are actually bigger and stronger. So the only advantage he's going to have is maybe he feels better at 154. He feels stronger, and then he's not fighting guys as quick as Crawford. Because
Yeah.
that was one of the biggest issues you saw in that fight was Crawford's speed, his accuracy, his timing, his ability to counter off of even Spence when he tried. Every time that Crawford hurt Spence, it was off like counters. It was off. The Spence was trying to do something, and then Crawford just countered him. He was just too quick for him. At least that would be the one advantage he would have, maybe moving up to 154. That he wasn't going to have guys at in that division that were as quick.
Yeah. But they may be more powerful, so who knows?
Yeah. That's the other problem. Yeah,
Because now you've seen Spence when he gets hit with enough force, it doesn't look like he has a chin. So it's withhold and withstand it.
Part of that could be that he was weight draining himself. Part of that could be that Crawford's just that good and accurate, and he's probably not going to run into anyone who has the ability, the skills that Crawford does at 154.
Well, he tried to bully Spence tried to bully Crawford like if he was Canelo fighting any other fighter, and then
Yeah.
that fighting style only gets you so far. Look at Canelo when he tried to do that to Benavidez. I mean, not to Benavidez, Bivol. When he tried to do it to Bivol, and Bivol couldn't hurt Canelo, but he was tagging him all over the place. That's what it looked like with Crawford and Spence. So do you think? So we agree that he can fight at 147 and 154, Crawford. Do you think he'll go to middleweight?
No,
Or is that one division too high? That's where Triple G would be.
Yeah, but no, that's the other thing. Could he do it? Does he have the ability and the skill? Yeah, because even at middleweight, he would still be the most skilled guy. The only problem for him would be, does he carry any of that power at middleweight? Those guys they're really, really much bigger. I mean, they make 160, but some of those guys, by the time they come into the fight, they're weighing in about 180. They're weighing in like really heavy. So now the punches that you would have hurt somebody at welterweight with, these guys may just take them. That's the danger of going up too many weight classes, is that you can get to a weight class where your best punch just goes off a guy and he doesn't feel it like anything. He feels like you're just a regular 160-pound puncher, right, and you really can't hurt him.
Right.
And then he just starts, once he realizes that, he can just start walking through you, But I think Crawford right now, it's the first thing is either defending at 147 or going up to 154.
It also depends on how good he looks at 154. If he makes it look seemingly as good as he does at 147, you're like, yo, maybe, right? You start getting a little delusional, and you're just like, yo, he might be able to, and you never know till he tries. It just looks like him and Canelo are just those guys that can just move up in so many weight classes that you think that they actually could do it. I mean, it'd be kind of crazy. I kind of want to see him get the opportunity to do a unify another division, be the first to ever do it.
And if he does,
ain't nobody gonna top that.
Yeah, if he does 154, it's already gonna be something ridiculous. I mean, already what he's done
is ridiculous.
At 147 is ridiculous. Like just unifying 140 and 147, junior welterweight and welterweight, let alone doing junior middleweight, would just be ridiculous. Like expecting that he can go to middleweight is a whole different just animal. But I don't know. It depends too. He's what is he now? 35.
He's 35 right now.
Yeah. So think about how long it'll take him to unify 154, and by the time he would have decided to move up, and then again, his body may not be able to. like 154 may be the limit of where, because I've heard him say that he does want to move to 154 at some point. So he may know his body, but 154 may be as heavy as he can get. He may not be able to even make 160 pounds, and that means that at that point you're giving the other guys too many advantages because they're not going to weigh 160. They're going to weigh a lot more than 160.
And maybe too many advantages may be good enough because it's too easy for Crawford right now. He's just
Well, it's very
demolishing the
similar.
competition.
Look at all the weight classes that say somebody like Canelo moved up, and you're looking at that and you're going, yeah, at some point you're going to move up against the prime champion too many weight classes, and that's exactly what happened with Bivol. If they're the same weight class, or Bivol is closer to 168 or 160, it's probably a different fight. But when you keep moving up like that, sooner or later you're gonna run into a guy who is either as skilled as you or close enough, and the difference will be he's a bigger fighter, and that could happen to Crawford. It's happened to many great fighters. It's happened to a lot of fighters that just once you keep going up, you'll feel that weight and that power from those guys a lot different.
I mean, it was a great day for just boxing, MMA, all around, just fight fans all over the world. It was just a good
Yeah.
day today for them. So Crawford, you would have him at pound for pound number 1.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm assuming number 2,
yeah.
and then number 3 you would have
God, it's
Canelo, maybe.
maybe Canelo.
You got Usyk, Canelo.
Yeah.
Spence just lost Bivol. You got Fury,
Usyk. Yeah.
Tyson Fury. Beterbiev, Ardo Beterbiev, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney.
Yeah, I gotta put Haney up there. Haney would be in my top 10. I think he's unified.
Would he be like top 5? You have Haney top 5?
Probably yeah. I think my tops would I would probably have Canelo, Haney, Usyk, and I would have
So it's Crawford,
and I would have Crawford number 1 and
Inoue.
Inoue number 2.
and
yeah.
like Canelo.
Yeah, at that point I would be more as far as people making an argument.
Number 1 and 2 are
Yeah,
straight,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
they're documented.
That's
Those
to
are
me
the
the
1, 2,
twos that
and then
that
everybody
they're
else you can
locked in.
interchange.
Yeah, yeah. If people make an argument for no, well, this guy could be number 3 or that guy, I would be all right with it because those guys are all there. But right now the two guys that I really look like they just completely separated themselves is Inoue and Crawford. I mean, it's different. You saw Haney fight Lomachenko, and that was
It
a
was close.
fight.
And I thought Loma won.
Loma, yeah. See, I was the same way. I thought Loma won a close fight, but it's much different when you're seeing a 50-50 fight and then it's closing and you go, well, this guy could have won, that guy could have won. But what Crawford just did is just blow everybody out and say, look, there is no close. That I am number 1, and there's no argument at that point because you're just going, yeah, he just blew out, just like Inoue blew out that other dude. Just that's the way it is, Just
Yeah, you gotta give credit where credit's
when
due
he
for
blew out
Devin Haney.
Fulton.
Yeah, you gotta give credit for Devin Haney. Like he's just fighting some beasts and some animals, and
Yeah.
he fought one of the top beasts of the world in Loma, and it was close.
Yeah.
Other fighters it would have been a blowout the other way for Loma. Loma would have fucking just demolished him. Now he's gonna fight Prograis. You're assuming he wins that fight, and then he's preparing for Teofimo.
Yeah.
If he beats Teofimo, he's top. He's probably 3rd in the pound for pound ranking.
Yeah, because I would probably already put Haney
Because I think Canelo's
my
like
top-
on his way out
in my top 5
already, as it is right now.
But we'll see. I think it's difficult because we don't know obviously the future, but if it looks like Canelo's is gonna run the plan for PBC looks like it's gonna be that he fight
That's right.
Charlo number 1 brother. If he beats him, then he'll fight the other Charlo brother, so they can both make money, and then he would probably either fight
Well, he has
maybe
to be fights,
Benavidez
right?
or something.
He has to be fights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Benavidez would be last on the board.
Yeah, and the thing is, what if Canelo runs all 3 fights and he wins all 3 fights convincingly and looks good doing it? I mean, it just shakes up the pound for pound.
Yeah.
You don't know what the future holds, what anybody else is going to do.
What resume from this moving forward? Crawford keeps up the fights. Does he keep up those? Like you said, does he beat those guys at 147?
Yeah.
He beats those 2 undefeated fighters.
Yeah, because for all you know, Crawford could just take off a whole year.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't know. He could be like, I did what I needed to do at welterweight. I'm gonna take a whole year and wait and see what happens.
Or he can do one of the unthinkables is wait for Charlo, one of the Charlo brother, let him fight. Also, while rematch clausing Spence, whip the shit out of Spence again, and then as in preparation for that weight class to fight Charlo,
Yeah.
and then win all those belts. Granted, as long as the boxing, what is it, the WBO or whatever, don't take his belts from.
Yeah, I don't think they will, but sometimes the sanctioning bodies do get involved in.
They're kind of weird.
When you're they make up their own.
Yeah.
Damn moves.
Let the man do some history right here. I mean, that'd be kind of crazy, and that'd be like that would shake up the boxing world, and it would be so hype for the boxing world to have somebody active who broke a record, and you're just like, can somebody beat him? Who can beat him? You know how high? How many more divisions higher is he going to try to attempt? Is he try to go for 4? You know, and you're just like, what the heck? Like, this is so good for boxing right now, and it's so hyped. Although the crowd was kind of a little.
Yeah, I think the fights before, like
Tell me
the
about
Ortiz, the Pitbull fight was really not. I mean, it wasn't a bad fight. It just wasn't an interesting fight. Just
Well,
it's
he
kind of
wanted.
like a snoozer. But the problem is too, you're waiting for one of these fights to determine who's going to be pound for pound best, and just undisputed in a division. You don't really want to see anything else. You want to watch these guys go at it. So the other fights kind of get thrown in the back.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Spence is okay because he took an ass whooping. Like, it's been a while since we've seen somebody get an ass whooping from a top boxer like that. Like, when's the last time you seen a lopsided victory like that versus two elite fighters?
Um, God, I mean, I don't know. It's hard. You've seen fights where people thought they were legit, like 50-50 fights, and they were lopsided. Wins one way. I can remember Roy Jones when he fought Bernard Hopkins. Roy Jones when he fought.
They had to go that far.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, it wasn't as bad as this. This is a complete destruction, no decision. The other fights, I mean, Roy won, but he won like, you know, he beat Hopkins in a decision, and he didn't even knock. I don't think, yeah, he didn't knock him. He didn't knock him down. But he did. I mean, it was clear that Roy, for being a fight where you thought, oh, yeah, it's a 50-50, and these guys are both like talented. Obviously, now we know their careers. They're both, first ballot Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
But when you see this, you're like this is just crazy because he's just completely separates himself in this fight. And I mean, obviously Crawford is a first ballot, Hall of Famer. It's just he's just
Him.
at this
It's him.
point he's just adding to his legacy. It's a similar like Canelo. He's already a first ballot Hall of Famer. Everything he does from this point on is just extra. It's just at what point does he just do these guys just retire or whatever? But they're just adding now.
Yeah. Well put. Well said.
Yeah.
That concludes our reaction to Spence versus Crawford. Anything to say, Abraham? I mean, sheesh.
Dominated.
He got dominated. Yeah, that was a brutal ass whooping he got. Till next time. See you guys later.